Okay, everybody, welcome again to Outside the State podcast. We're on the road again. You guys know we're still on the Bourbon, what I want to call it, the Bourbon restaurant bourbon tour, and this is another restaurant that we're at down here, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Copper Spoon. But before we go off too far into the video, like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, comment. It helps the channel out. You guys already know we're doing the call to action thing, so you guys know what it looks like. So we decided to get outside of the cave doing reviews, and we are actually at a really good one. Just take a look behind us, and Taylor, you're going to kill me because I done forgot the last name that quick. But listen,
that's okay.
Vanoose.
Vanoose. You got it.
So, we're down here, like I said, downtown Fort Wayne, and Copper Spoon downtown is in the heart of downtown Fort Wayne, right behind the Ball Diamond here in Fort Wayne. If you guys are coming through Fort Wayne, you're going to hit a major thoroughfare. Either it's going to be Washington or Jefferson. You kind of got to navigate the parking a little bit, but it's a great place to come. You guys see behind me, this is just a portion of the bourbons that they have, and we're going to be giving you some more stills and things like that. But Miss Chandler,
Hi.
you're here. Finally,
We got it.
Finally, we got this together. And Chandler Vanoose, she works down here. She does the events.
I'm the beverage director, actually.
Beverage director. So listen, beverage director. She is the one in charge of all of the liquor and all of the bourbon. Okay.
That's me.
So be nice to her. So listen. When I was talking to you earlier, I remember this. I used to come down to this place. My wife and I came down. At that point, it was Wine Down. And we used to come down here, and we used to drink up a lot of wine and have a designated driver to get back home. And all of a sudden, the name changed, and still the same place, still the same motif. But when I walked in here, that time, I walked into this, and I'm like, what the world? So listen, I'm gonna hush and I'm gonna let you take the driver's seat, and you drive us the rest of the way and tell us the story behind. Tell us about the food. Tell us about the hours. Tell us about the location. You guys are busy down here in the summertime.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Tell us.
Okay.
You got the wheel.
All right, you got it. So like you said, we were Wine Down originally. Same owners, same space. They just decided that they wanted to focus a little more heavily on cocktails and spirits, which is now the shining light of our program at all points in time. So they changed the name about 7 years ago. We've been open continually as a business for over 10 years. We just had our 10-year anniversary last year. So we've been doing this for a minute, trying to figure out exactly where we want to be and what we want to carry. We're open Monday through Saturday. The only day we're closed all day is Sundays. Every day we're open at least 5 to 10. Our kitchen is always open 5 to 10. On Friday and Saturday, our bar is open until 11. So there's one little extra hour.
You guys don't do the lunch menu?
We do not.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it just didn't make a ton of sense for us over here with so much emphasis on the bar.
Yep.
We kind of stick to the nighttime vibe.
So, why bourbon?
Well, part of it is sort of what the market demands, right? I mean, we're in the middle of the Midwest. It's an easy thing to fall into the land of whiskey here, especially being so close to Kentucky. But also, for me personally, that's the kind of bar that I sort of grew up in the hospitality industry. I used to run a large whiskey bar in Texas before I came here.
Really?
I just sort of developed a passion for it. So it's something that's close to my heart and easy for me to continue to curate.
So, Texas whiskey, Texas bourbon versus Indiana.
It sort of depends where you're getting things from. I have a couple Texas whiskeys on the shelf that I really enjoy. I'm a big Balcones fan through and through, always. I've got some Garrison Brothers back there as well. Some of the Indiana stuff, I feel like if you're looking at like the MGP base, you're getting kind of some of the similar vibes all around the country anymore. But
I went down to Texas and I had what's called TX.
Yeah.
And I can't. It's a TX.
They're out of Austin.
Yeah, and it was a different. It's a different. Is it now? Listen, bourbon whiskey. Is it TX bourbon or whiskey?
So they might have both because
Okay.
bourbon is always a whiskey. Whiskey is not always bourbon.
Y'all heard it. She got it right, y'all.
Yeah. So they might have one of each.
Okay.
We've got, I honestly don't know our total count on just bourbon. We have over 450 whiskeys between Scotch, bourbon, single malt, rye, and then all the random little lands in between now. But
So, we heard through the grapevine. We came down here. I don't get a chance to come down here often,
Okay.
But when I do, I'm coming. And so, you guys do an old fashioned.
we do.
And this old fashioned, now listen, I'm an old fashioned type dude. I like a good old fashioned. I'm so anal about my old fashioned until like when I look at the bartender making it, I want that orange rind, that white part. I want it taken out.
Cut off.
And because that just picks up all kind of funky
Yeah.
taste. And I was watching over here at the bar when we were sitting right there at that corner, and it was a she. That night she was very meticulous about and twisting it and
Yeah.
what do you use? What is it? Come on, tell the secret.
So we have Elijah Craig in both our household fashions right now because that's our current private barrel. We rotate our private barrel as we sort of move through inventory. We try to do a couple different brands. We did Koval out of Chicago last, but we're sitting on a decent amount of our Elijah Craig one still. That's actually the bottle I gave you for the last single barrel we picked.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I just saw it sitting on the table. I thought somebody
So
left
let
it
me
here.
get this out of the way.
This is the private barrel.
Yep.
This is what you guys are using down here.
Yeah, so we did it essentially for our 10-year anniversary, even though we haven't been Copper Spoon for 10 years. When we went down last year and picked down at Heaven Hill to do Elijah Craig, we specifically wanted a 10-year to go with the anniversary mark. We took our entire bar team and the owner and myself so that we could all taste together, and we pretty much unanimously picked this barrel.
So how often do you guys do the barrel picks?
It really depends how quickly we move through the inventory and how large the barrels are. This was a pretty large one for us. We ended up having, Lord, over 20 cases of yield. So we're going to be moving through this one for a little while. We have it, like I said, in our household fashion, not just the base level. We have just a regular Elijah Craig small batch available, but then also this one if you're willing to spend a little more to try out like the specialty Copper Spoon one.
So in 2025, how many barrel picks did you guys go on?
Only one in person. They have the option for a lot of them now that they'll bring you like tasting kits.
Yep.
We try to do in person specifically for staff education. It's really great for the
Absolutely.
bartenders to go and have that experience, and also just a day off work.
So they're getting it straight out the barrel, and by like what 4 or 5 barrels that you're choosing from? Yeah, yep.
Yeah, with Heaven Hill we did 3. She told us that we could rotate out of those and move on to other ones if we wanted, but again, we all pretty much unanimously chose the same barrel right away out of those 3.
So as I was looking around when I was setting up, I'm just like in awe of this. I don't see very many or very much Buffalo Trace.
Not a ton, no. That's not necessarily intentional. I know we talked a little bit about like the allocation process and
Yep.
how we were going to discuss that today. Some of the brands that we work with have a really specific sort of cutoff of like you have to sell this much
Yep,
of a
yep.
certain brand or of our partner
Yep,
brands to get
yep.
what you want. I try just on a personal level not to turn it into a game of like I just want this one thing, so
Yep.
I'm going to put this other thing in the well. I really want to let our best product shine, and if that means I maybe miss out on 1 or 2 allocations, that's okay with me.
Yeah. Everybody's really buzzing about the Buffalo Trace thing. It's like Buffalo Trace is like the cat's meow.
Yeah.
I review bottles and things like this, and I'm not hating on Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on them, but
Yeah.
there's so much bourbon out there that's a little bit better than Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, and it's nothing personal to Buffalo Trace or like any of the Sazerac products, same kind of thing. There are 1,000,001 bottles that people come in here and immediately ask for it, and I love that. I love that people are enthusiastic about any bottle we could potentially have on the shelf, but We train our bartenders really rigorously to learn how to make those connections of like, okay, you really like Buffalo Trace, let's put you on to the next thing. Let's find something else that you really want to enjoy, so you're trying more than just the one thing.
Yep. What's the go-to down here for? Is it scotches, whiskeys, or bourbons?
We don't sell as much Scotch. I would say whiskey, bourbon coming in pretty close. We sell a lot of wheated whiskey over the last year. I've noticed that's been sort of on the uptick. I don't know if that's just kind of the lighter profile. I'm a rye girl myself. That's my personal preference.
Which rye?
Balcones rye. That's a go-to. Yeah. I also drink a lot of wild turkey because it's in our well. So.
Balcones. Never heard of that.
Yeah, they're out of Waco, Texas. So they're up in this top corner up here somewhere. There we go. Right behind the Castle and Key.
Okay. Let me ask you. So people can only come down here. They can take it neat. They can have it in a cocktail. Can they buy the bottle?
Technically, yes. We don't sell all of our bottles. We do have a carry-out license.
Okay.
So I have a list of things that I know I always have on hand. Like, obviously, our single barrel is always ready. Our small batch, because we use it in our household fashion, always ready. I have a couple things that I'll always part with, or if it's a regular that comes in and says, hey, I noticed you have 3 of this one bottle. Could I maybe take one off your hands? I'll maybe make a special pricing for them, depending. But some things, since we get so few, it's just not something we're able to sell out.
Do you much mess around? If you're going to do that, do you much mess around with the secondary, or are you going MSRP on it?
We don't really. We do MSRP. We actually pride ourselves even on our pours. We don't mark up based on allocation points. We don't mark up based on like secondary market value. We just go off of what our bottle cost is and what we think our profit margins need to be to pay our bills.
I am not going to. This is the 5th restaurant that you guys are number 5. So I loved the experience of going around to all of these different restaurants. Okay, here's the thing, and I'm not gonna call the name, but I want your expert opinion. So I went to a restaurant, 2 of them, and did the same thing. We did the podcast, and they had Van Winkle. Okay, and so I paid north of $50 for a pour. So I started looking at this, and I'm like, okay, is it Pappy? Is it Rip? Or what do we got going on here? Because I mean, at that kind of price pour, you want, and I'm not hating on them. I loved it. But so you know the bottle that I'm talking about? Yeah. Is it Rip Van Winkle? Is it Van Winkle? Or is it Pappy?
So there's several. It could have been any of them. I'm assuming you got a Van Winkle because that's a little easier to get a hold of at this particular moment. Pappy Van Winkle, it's hard for me to find on a shelf anymore unless you're in a bigger market like Chicago. There's maybe one bar in Fort Wayne that's got it sitting around at the moment. Honestly, with any of those, they're good product. It's nothing against any of that line.
Right.
I used to have, even like Eagle Rare now is kind of like a commodity. I used to have that in my household fashion back in the day. I've had those products. I appreciate them for what they are. I don't know that spending that much per pour all the time is always worth it.
Yeah. I like I said, I thought at north of $50, I was I'm having some Pappy Van Winkle. I've never had Pappy, and I'm like, come to find out, I was like, it wasn't Pappy. So
I don't know what the going price for Pappy would be these days. To be honest, we haven't gotten a bottle in quite a while for many reasons, but mostly the reasons I listed. We don't really kind of plug and play the things we would need to do to get that allocation in the door, even with the amount of whiskey that we sell. So
tell me, let's talk allocation then.
Okay.
You segued into it.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. That's the new hype. That's the new jam.
Yeah.
Allocated bottles. First off, let's go with this thing. Is it worth the hype?
Yes and no. I know that's not the answer anyone wants to hear. They want a definitive, like, absolutely or absolutely not. It really depends on the bottle. We call our allocation list that we regularly update our special selections list, because there are things on there that aren't necessarily a highly allocated product. You might find them in regular bars, but we think they're really unique, and we won't get a ton of them in. They're still a limited run for us. So we try to look at that as, like, we find this product really specific and really worth our time to highlight, rather than just, there's only one in the whole country. You know what I mean? So I don't think that rarity necessarily implies value, but I do think there can be value in some of that rarity. You can find it.
What's your allocated plural. What do you have? What do you have coming in the door frequently?
Yeah, I have a regular rotation. We have a shelf in the office I release one thing a week, essentially. We've been getting a lot of the Heaven Hill grained glass stuff because they're rotating each of those. That series has been really fun. The bartenders have been really enjoying that one. We just plowed through our first Blantons that we've had in a while.
10. Is it gold?
No.
Okay,
Just regular Blantons.
Okay.
Yeah. Even that's a little
they
hard
call
for us
that
to
allocated?
For us, it is. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Fort Wayne specifically, because it's a little smaller market, I think it's a little more difficult for my reps to get the product to them to then get to me.
Okay,
Because
okay.
whatever amount they have, they might send out to, like, let's say Indy or Chicago.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
just depends on the rep and the company.
What else you got coming through the door?
Ooh, I just dropped a new one from Suntory. It's a 12-year single malt that's really fun. I'm trying to think what else I've released recently. I took a little hiatus for a bit because I had to inventory all of this, so I gave myself a break for a day. We've got some of the old Fit stuff right now. I've got a 90th anniversary from Heaven Hill as well that I like a lot. I think that's about it right now.
Do you? Well, now everybody's amped up on the Eagle Rare 12-year.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have. I don't have it laying around at the moment. I've actually had it at another bar.
Come on, tell me that between the 10-year and the 12.
It's been a while since I've had the 10-year. I think those small differences can make a huge difference or none at all, depending on where you're picking from in your warehouse. So for them, I don't know what their blending process looks like. I don't know who's pulling. I don't know what their specialists look like. So it's hard for me to say that it's truly worth the hype, you know?
I'm about to do something because I'm listening to you. And I'm going to talk to my listeners, and I'm going to tell my bourbon guys tonight. I'm just going to talk to, the World Wide Web right now. This girl knows what she's talking about. And this is nothing that she sat down behind a piece of paper and a booklet to read. She knows her stuff. You could just tell by the conversation. I'm trying to stay up with her on the conversation. She knows her stuff, so you can't come down here and just you got to know what you're talking about when you're dealing with Miss Chandler.
Well, the good news is if you don't, hopefully I can teach you. We're big on the education here. So if you don't know what you're talking about, I can put you in the right spot still. That's okay.
You're going to get school. You're going to come down here and get school. Hey, food selections.
Yeah. Our chef, in my opinion, is very heavily French influenced. So a lot of our dishes sort of lean that direction. We call it New American because it's really a blend of a lot of different things. It depends on the day. It depends on the produce. We do almost exclusively locally sourced produce from local small farmers.
Okay.
As much locally sourced meat as we can. So all of our chicken, all of our pork, and all of our beef. Obviously, seafood doesn't really work out in Indiana that way. But really the biggest thing for us is always keep it in the economy in the local market as much as we can. So we work with a lot of small farmers.
I remember I came down here when I talked to you on the phone. I think it was last week. It's like, man, right over there. I could point everywhere.
Yeah,
I've been
you
at
got
this
it.
bar.
Yeah.
Over there, we had the shrimp and the grits, and I'm like, man, and you're like, Ricky, we don't do that anymore.
I'm so sorry.
And
Yeah.
that was the deal.
Yeah, we rotate the menu a ton,
Yeah.
partly to work with those local farmers on what they have available in this particular season, especially right now. It's sort of limited to what they have in their greenhouse or what they can grow really regularly. We'll supplement as needed, but we try our best to stick with the farmers where we can.
I get you. So tell me this. I want your brutally honest,
Okay.
10-minute, honest, brutal. What is the forecast for bourbon in 2026, 2027? Now, we're in February. This is the last day of February.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a year. Let's
Okay.
go all the way from today all the way to 27 February. What is the forecast? Everybody's talking about we're at this bourbon burst, and we're on the peak. Where do you give me your honest, brutal? Because Claremont closed down.
Yeah.
Jim Beam
Yeah.
is at the writing on the wall. So I'm giving you a kind of baseline of where to go to.
In my opinion, a little bit, yes. A lot of what we see in the Midwest or in the middle of America is this hype for our own spirit that we really appreciate as something we hold dear as our national spirit in its own way. For other countries, that doesn't resonate with them. I mean, there's those unique, really specific qualifiers that let bourbon be bourbon, but for Canada, if they can have a Canadian whiskey rather than a bourbon right now, they're probably going to do that in this moment.
Yes.
Just, giving everything that's going on in the world right now. What I'm seeing a lot of, honestly, is we're losing some of that affordability that used to exist in the bourbon climate, where you could find a really good bottle at a really good price and feel like you got a great deal. I'm seeing less and less of those bottles and more of those like mid-tier pricing between like $70 to $100. I'm seeing a ton of those in the market, and I don't know if that's just to help them make up the costs on the lower price points or because they know everyone can't afford above that $100 mark, but I'm really seeing a huge influx of that sort of like middle ground price point.
But do you think that, and I really don't want to ask this question, but I really have to, do you think, because Canada and the tariffs, do you think that's affecting us?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Really?
100%. Yeah. I mean, even just looking at like my personal margins on my bar for a ton of imported products, even if that exact product didn't end up with a tariff right away, in preparation for that, a lot of those large distribution companies sort of tacked on extra fees or said like this has to go, because they have other products that they have to worry about, or like just looking at the global economy and market, being concerned about that was enough to push that in that direction and say we have to make this up somewhere.
So then you have your hand on the pulse. So Canada was buying that much bourbon from us?
A decent
And
amount. Really, in general, a lot of it affected the wine market more so. They dropped almost all American wines in a ton of Canadian liquor stores. So that hit the wine industry pretty heavily. It's hard for me to say total what they were bringing on in imports for bourbon. But I've definitely seen a decrease in international interest. It's a little harder to get some of those international brands or distribution companies involved.
And so now that makes sense to me now why Jim Beam had to shut doors at their Claremont location. But it still doesn't make sense that they're sitting on that many barrels.
Yeah.
And I do a live. I do the podcast live. I was on live last Sunday, and this lady actually came to my live. Don't know who this woman is, and this question came up in the live, and she's like, "Hey, I work there, and what I'm reading on the internet, gathering my information, they said it wasn't going to be any layoffs or firings." She said that's not true.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
And then more importantly, that when I start reading more, they're sitting on that many barrels, but yet we have to absorb the pricing.
Yeah, it's a tough market for the general consumer right now. I feel like these really huge, like multinational, multi-billion-dollar companies are trying to reap the rewards of what they think is a market that they can branch into and say, like, I know that I can get away with this. I know I can do this. And that's not to hate on Jim Beam specifically. That's not to call out any particular brand. It's just to say that I think when, you have a company that's netting higher profits than they've ever had, and you're still having across the board like layoffs or shutdowns, there's something wrong there.
Yep. And so this is if people still want to do it and buy it, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I do it.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing. This is opening the door for the craft industry. Those craft distilleries are sticking their head. Penelope, you have Penelope up here?
We do, yeah.
Penelope is starting.
Love their product.
Killing the game.
Yeah.
And so, and that's a craft industry.
Yeah.
And it's affordable.
Yeah.
They have their estate collection is higher, but yeah, man, wow.
Yeah, it's nice to see some of those brands sort of hold on to what they think is so important to them and like their ethos of their brand, because it's easy to be a smaller brand and sell out to a bigger company and just be another part of the lineup, because it's going to help their sales, it's going to help their profits, it's going to help whoever got to sell off their shares, but in the long term, it doesn't necessarily help the product value as far as like what you're getting out of it and change over time. Like, you don't have those same people that are boots on the ground that have cared about it since day one.
Listen, man, tell everybody what you want them to hear. Is your show now. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna hush. I promise I ain't gonna say nothing. Now you're gonna drive me now, and you tell everybody what you want them to know about everything here going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've touched on a lot really quickly, which I love. I would just say, like, go into whiskey with an open mind anytime you can. Try not to shut yourself off to, I only like this one brand, I only drink this one thing, because there's a million possibilities now. I mean, there are so many really wonderful, smaller, niche, or like even artistically inclined brands now that are really putting their neck out and saying, like, I have my son on the ground doing my sales for me, or I have my mom in the bottle shop running my sales for me. Like, those people are really showing up in their community, and that money's going back into that small market. And at the end of the day, the way that we work from a food perspective, that applies to the liquor industry in some ways too. Like,
How is that?
so let's say they don't have a whiskey currently, but there's a local distillery called Hatfield and Sons.
Yep.
They carry a vodka and a gin. So, and now a coffee liqueur. Gotta plug the extra. For us, we'll try, if we can afford to put one of their spirits into a house cocktail, because like those sales are going to help our local economy. It's going to help a local family that they're going to then put money back into the people around us that are coming into our bar, including ourselves. Like, we got to do a distillery tour with them and have a lot of fun and just kind of like relax and hear about some of the stuff they were working on, because they're here for us. Like, they see the value of their community showing up for them. So a lot of that, support local when you can. If you don't love your local product, that's okay. Like, if you're just a diehard whiskey or you're a diehard agave fan, you obviously can't get a local tequila where we're at. Try to think about the product that you're sourcing, where it's coming from, why it's valuable, like what's really worth your time and money, because your money's precious. Like, you work really hard for that.
Yes, yeah, it is.
So
let me tell you before I get out of here, the buzz is leaning more toward the tequila now.
Yeah.
Is this true?
Yeah, for sure. I have a lot of regulars that used to be just only whiskey, and I think they sort of burnt themselves out on that industry, so they needed something a little different. I've done now a couple like tequila or agave focused trips with brands, and honestly, it's amazing to see the way that communities in Mexico can show up for what they're doing, and like the fact that that can maintain an entire community for generations is just this one brand. Yeah. So I think a lot of that is like getting to know that information, because a lot of people show up and love whiskey because they're whiskey nerds, right? Like, they want those extra details. They want to really learn what's going on behind the scenes, and I think it can be easy if you know the right people to do that with agave, so it can be really interesting for people.
So you went all the way from the plant, agave plant, all the way up to distillation.
Yeah, we got to do the full tour, which was really cool. We have another bartender that just got back from Oaxaca as well, kind of the same thing, did several mezcal tours, got to watch their production process. Like, tiny little family communities that are putting out really great product.
Wow. Oh, man. Golly.
Yeah, it's a unique experience. It's really special.
Yeah. Hey, guys, listen. You guys heard it. This honestly was a really, really good interview. And
Thank you.
Very, very knowledgeable. Miss Chandler. I say Miss Chandler. I don't know why I say Miss Chandler. It has a ring to it. Miss Chandler. Okay. She knows her stuff. Copper Spoon, downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm here to tell you personally that the food down here is amazing. Our bourbon group, when they see this, and when I tell them tonight, because we have a bottle share, we're going to act like we're 19 years old tonight.
I love that.
And I'm going to tell them, I'm like, hey, guys, I did it down at Copper Spoon. We need to go down there and go in big numbers.
All right, let's do it.
And we're going to bring our group down here. We usually visit the places that, on the podcast that I've had on, we usually go and hang out with them and tear their place up and then leave. And the food down here is amazing, guys. The flights are really good.
Yeah.
The old fashioned is really good. And then let me tell you about the motif. They have this leather apron. You guys, listen, you have to get down here to see it, to feel it, to do it. You guys can even get with you to do help me out.
Yeah, we have like an event specialist that does all of our private bookings. So if, like you said, you have, a large group of people that want to come in and have a good time, usually a little easier if you want to book that ahead of time, so we can get you set up in the right area, make sure you have a good time when you get here. We can't always squeeze a large group in. Thankfully, we're lucky to be that busy. So it's always nice when we can accommodate that ahead of time.
And they have everything from JTS Brown all the way up. And when I say up, you guys are going to see some of the still pictures that I take. We want you guys to get down here, get in here, spend your money, support local, hang out. And you know what? In the summertime, I do know that there's right on my backside here is a ball diamond. It's a lot going on in Fort Wayne, downtown Fort Wayne. Downtown Fort Wayne is building up like leaps and bounds. And this right here is for us. I mean, that we don't have to go way, way, way out. I mean, this, well, I ain't gonna say it. I'll tell you later. That we don't have to go way, way, way out and find this stuff because it's right here in our yard, not even in our backyard. It's like here. So all we have to do is get ourselves down here. And all of you all that are listening to us on Spotify, iHeart, and Amazon, you guys know you've hearing it. You get a chance to sit back and get onto the television and see it on YouTube. You guys are missing it. Because if you guys don't see what I see behind me, like when I leave this interview, I'm going to look at this behind me because this behind me is something. So listen, until next time, we are going to, where are we going to next? Oh, Anthology up in Warsaw, Indiana. We're going to be hanging out with them and doing some things up there with them. So you guys, number one, drink responsibly. Number two, I say this all the time, out of all of the podcasts that I do, drink responsibly and don't drink and drive.
There you go.
Okay, if you drink and drive, you're going to end up with an orange jumpsuit on, and you're going to be down the street there on Superior and Clinton.
Indeed.
It's the jail. So, hey, next time, guys, like, subscribe, leave Miss Chandler a comment. Challenge her.
Go ahead.
Challenge her on what she said about different things, and she'll get the report, and you'll answer her.
Oh yeah, I tell my bartenders all the time, I can be wrong. That's okay.
But it's all right.
Yeah, let me know.
Being wrong is all right. I'm wrong every day, somewhere, every day.
That's okay.
So I do appreciate you so much. First off, I appreciate you for letting me come down here to do this,
sure.
And then I appreciate the knowledge, man. That
Thank
is
you.
crazy. So, hey, guys, thank you for tuning in with us, and we're going to get with you guys later on. And, hey, outside the saves, we talk at you later. Peace.